academic mathematician, and
Sorry, if I can
therefore,
jump in.
yeah.
Guess who forgot to hit the go live button on YouTube?
Oh, did you not?
Yay! I love it when this happens.
I clicked all the OBS buttons, but I did not click the YouTube button. So YouTube is now live, as of now, plus the delay of whatever we are behind on YouTube.
So should I say all that again? Hello, YouTube.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello, everyone.
So hi, everyone on YouTube. We have, I started by saying that we've started with some gentle chaos, and it turned out to be less gentle than I thought. So we think.
I wrote it down.
Right.
I was like, oh, that's a phrase I love.
So this is a Finite Group live stream. It's a little bit haphazard, as you can tell. We have people watching in two places. So members are in the Discord channel and we'll chat, and the chat will appear in the video. And non-members, everybody in the world, can potentially be watching the YouTube stream, for which, hello. You are 30 seconds behind reality, and therefore, and also I can't see where the YouTube chat is. I've got too many things on my screen as it is, so we may or may not see the chat there, but do have a nice time chatting if you'd like to. If you would like to get into the Discord live stream, you can join the group. I think somebody might be saying that in a minute. This is our 6th live stream. I was saying that usually what happens is two of us have prepared something that we then deliver because we're professional prepared people. And instead, this time, we thought we'd answer these 100 questions that are supposed to be very contentious. And so our careful preparation has been not looking at the questions, which we've all been doing diligently. It makes us all nervous because I was at the moment where you just interrupted, I said I'm a mere academic mathematician and therefore don't know loads of things in maths, and I also feel a huge weight of expectation because, of course, I'm also an academic mathematician and therefore ought to know lots of things in maths. But there are a bunch of topics that you know very well because you teach them, and there are other things that maybe you did a module on 20 years ago, or maybe you weren't there that week. And so there's a whole, yeah. So basically, I'm hoping that Katie will explain everything that we need to know. I don't know if we want to. Should we start with the housekeeping and then introduce ourselves? So Katie is having train trouble and has found a mathematically pleasing background in a cafe in where?
Joining you live from Acosta in a train station in Hull. So if anyone can get here in the next hour, you can appear on the live stream. But yes, I will do some brief housekeeping since that is my role and I'm not in my house. So I guess that works. So the live stream is part of the Discord community where we have a little bit of a code of conduct. So if you're in the Discord, there's a rules channel which has a longer version of this. But essentially to say that the content we do in the live streams is aimed at what we're assuming is an audience of adults. So there may be swearing, there may be adult themes occasionally if appropriate to maths. But we will warn if anything distressing is going to be discussed, so don't worry. And generally, just please be respectful in the chat. Don't be discriminatory, critical, or harass anyone based on any of the characteristics. Don't be aggressive, don't be offensive, don't be inappropriate. And please, if you're going to share anything that's been shared in this live stream anywhere else, it is polite to check with the person who shared it. Before you do that. And if you have any problems, you can email hello@finitegroup.co.uk. We will keep an eye on that during the stream and afterwards, and we will take any reports seriously and deal with them in confidence. So that is our housekeeping-y code of conduct stuff. But I guess, yeah, as Pete was saying, we should introduce ourselves. So I'm going to throw to Ayliean for our first introduction.
Okay, what a wonderful time to throw to Ayliean just as I kind of mute myself for politeness. Am I still here? I think I might have.
Yeah, your video is coming through a bit laggy at my end, but I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, so if I wait a sec, that should fix things. Oh no. Throw to Scrogs, throw to Scrogs.
It's classic, throw to Scrogs, quick. Perhaps introduce yourself.
Yeah, hello everyone. So I am Scroggs, or Matthew Scroggs, if you like first names. I am a mathematician. In my day job, I'm a mathematician at UCL in London, and in my night job, I am a mathematician on things like this. Outside of work, I also do. I'm one of the editors of Chocolates magazine. Is sort of my big thing. I also like blog and do various other things like this. Are we good to throw back to Ayliean?
Yes, I will catch it. That was my attempt to check the YouTube comments, but I just ended up destroying everything, adding to the chaos. So my name is Ayliean. There is a good chance that you've seen my name written down but never said out loud. So if that is the case, it's 3 syllables, Ayliean, very similar to the word alien, but Ayliean, the last name, nice and easy, just McDonald. And I was a full-time maths teacher for 10 years. And then during the pandemic, decided to make the very financially stable decision of entirely quitting my job and becoming a full-time maths communicator slash YouTuber slash TikToker. So that's what I do. I just do fun maths things all day, every day, and I love it. So very happy to be here. Will I throw to Peter?
Sure. I'm Peter. Hi, I'm Peter Oller. I am a mathematician at Sheffield Hallam University, and I do lots of other things in my copious free time, like this. So, bits and pieces. I'm one of the people at the Aperiodical blog, for example. I haven't really planned what else to say. Who would be interested in Shortdust magazine? Is the question in the chat. I just can't tell.
Who knows? Yeah, but basically everyone. So I guess we aim. I've heard it described as the forgotten maths degree audience. So it's people who have may have done a maths degree, may not have done a maths degree, but if they have done a maths degree, they've forgotten most of it. So it sort of doesn't throw anything at you harder than first year undergrad, like the start of first year undergrad at maths, and often is a simpler point than that, but doesn't shy away from the hard maths.
I love how you're answering that seriously. That's brilliant.
Yeah,
I think the answer is mathematically curious people. But, yes,
also
good.
that.
Katie.
Yes. Well, the other thing that Peter does, which you forgot to mention, is that he's got a column in New Scientist, which is a monthly Maths of Life column, which alternates between Peter writing a column and me writing a column every other month. Yes, my name's Katie. I am also a mathematician at Costa in Hull train station, and I am a mathematician in Manchester normally, and I do lots and lots of different types of maths communication in various forms. So I do bits of YouTube, bits of TV, radio. I have now written 6 maths books, as I can say, as of my book deadline last week. So that's quite exciting, although obviously one of them isn't published yet. But yeah, I'm here and I do this. And that is everyone's introductions. So I'm going to throw back to Ayliean, because I have a question for you, Ayliean. What is the finite group?
What is the finite group? Well, you've picked the right person to ask, because I am fresh and new to the finite group. So I got to land in and experience the finite group from one side, and then hop over to the kind of generators side, which is the presenting side. So the finite group, as I've experienced, is a community of cool maths people where we get to talk about memes and fun maths things. Recently was speaking about some mathematical cross stitch that I've been doing, and finding other people who've also been doing stuff like that, which is way cool. So we host the community on Discord, and we also have a Patreon. I believe there's a free tier to the Patreon, and if you wanted to just get information, you could be on the free tier of the Patreon. But the Discord is where all of the cool fun maths happens, and then monthly we do these live streams, or 6 weekly, roughly monthly, monthly, for sure monthly. Getting the nods and the shaking of the head from Peter. Yep. So monthly we do these cool live streams, and I am in the impossible position of trying to replace Sophie McLean. So yeah, up until now, it's been very professional, very awesome, because Sophie is on the ball, but so on the ball that she's taking time away to do her PhD for maths. And now you've got me, as well as the other 3 generators. I hope the question wasn't actually what is a finite group, because group theory is famously one of the areas of maths that I am not good at.
I mean, the amount of group theory you need to understand how the finite group theory, how the finite group works, is minimal at best. We've got some generators. There's a group. It's finite. That's all we really care about here.
It's a lot of Katie trying to make the generator pun work. and
Yeah.
we're
Yeah,
not
it
sure that
doesn't-
everybody
doesn't
quite.
quite, yeah. It's a
All right.
finitely generated group, and it's a finite group. Cool.
So we have
go
100
on, Pete, you do
questions.
this bit.
I was going to say we have 100 questions to answer in about 40 minutes. So we are, as you can tell, we're racing away because it's. Anyway, we'll see how many we get through. Scrogs, do you want to explain the fantastic random number generator?
Yeah, so I own a tombola drum, of course. And earlier today, I sat and put the numbers from 1 to 100 and a few X's into this tombola drum. And the way we're going to do this is I am going to spin it and randomly take out some numbers where they're going to answer that numbered question, and then see what happens, and then move on to the next question by randomly generating another one. We've also put in a few numbers larger than 100, and if we pick any of those, we're going to have some bonus questions that the Discord chat sent us. Are we ready for question number 1?
Well, what amused me about this is, like, at lunchtime, Katie said, "Does anyone have any tombola tickets?" And Scrogs was just like, "Oh yeah, of course they do." And then he produced a book of tombola tickets where all the prime numbers had already been used.
But only used once, so I still have the second one.
Yes. But that just felt like maximum, yes, and a tombola drum to do it from. So I have shared my screen. If you might need to click on that to watch it. But what I'm going to do is, Scrogs is going to read a number out. I'm going to find that question. Yeah, because we thought that 100 questions in an hour was just not enough to do. We thought we would ask people in the Discord if they had any extra questions to throw in. So we just aren't going to get through all of these, but we'll do what we can. So 2 things. One is that there are questions, so I will scroll to the question and we will answer that question. And then, having done that, there are also, since we announced this live stream, they've published results. So we can see a little pie chart of what other people thought. So what's their first number?
The first number is 52.
52. About halfway down the page, right?
Yeah, so anyone on Discord will need to hover over Peter and click watch stream, which I've done so YouTube can see it, but I'll yo-yo between that and seeing us, so you can see us answer the question on YouTube.
So here we're going in heavy to start with. X is an element of R, and the norm of X is, and whether it's 1 line around the X or 2 lines around the X.
I'm going to helpfully paste these in the chat so that we've got them a record of what we've done. Yeah.
So
this is one of the ones that, like, I have an answer, but I don't have a strong feeling on it. Just at uni, I used single lines, and I would be happy to change.
I reckon, so I wonder if what Scrogs was about to say was, we literally had the Christmas live stream that me and Scrogs did, had a little bit about the snowmen chalked as Christmas card, which is based on the various different norms. So we had a little bit of norm chat then. I have 2 opinions on this. One is that if you put double pipes around something in Discord, it turns it into a spoiler. So I had to edit that before it. Was it just X, but no one knows what it is. Also, I reckon a single pipe is the modulus.
Yes.
Therefore, I would reserve double pipe for norm.
A single pipe is the 2 norm, like the standard length of something, whereas double pipes could be something else.
Yeah, there's usually like a subscript afterwards.
There's a real answer to it. I'm going to I'll pick a new question.
Yeah.
Oh, shall I look at 52, see what people said?
Yeah, I bet they disagree with this.
Yeah, do that while we're picking the next one. Yeah.
70% said double.
Well, I'm sorry about that.
That's
29%.
on representation of us. 3 to 1. Yeah.
Right, what do we got?
Number 15.
15.
They see me scrolling.
You better spin just to make sure they're not being mixed up.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So in this is a sort of set. N is in Z, and then it's the sort of such that. What do you put there for a such that N is even?
Yeah. So the backwards epsilon symbol is ridiculous. If you use that, you are wrong. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I would literally say any of those except the last one.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine with any of those, but not that. What is that? It's like the opposite of as an element of.
It mirrors the one the other side of the Z in this case. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would look like the integers are just
Nah.
So
think
the only other opinion I have here is the colon. Often I use set notation when I'm talking about functions, and I use colon to be like function maps from something to something.
Mhm.
And if I then use colon, I end up with colons meaning different things in the same line. So I usually use the bar because I use colons for too many other things.
I would not write the words out because I'm a lazy mathematician. I think I was taught the bar, and then I've read a book an intro to proof book recently that used the colon, and I quite like that because it's sort of how that's used in language, isn't it? It's sort of here thing follows thing, whereas the bar is weird, I guess.
I mean,
Also, I do
especially
some
if-
game theory, and there's some set notation with a bar where it's like the moves for left and the moves to right are either side of the bar. So that's slightly confusing as
I
well.
guess that's why it's useful to have 4 different types of notation that work for this, because then you can use whichever one doesn't clash with whatever else you're doing. But yeah, I think it's probably weird to write it out in full if everything else is just like really dense symbol-y notation, then just have like a sentence in the middle there. I don't know.
Yeah, because you've got member
yeah.
of and integers already. You wouldn't then write out the words. It's a mismatch. Cool.
Yeah.
Should we see what the people of the world think?
Yeah.
A mixture. More, just about half would do the bar, and another third would do the colon, and then a mixture of all the
Yeah,
others.
that orange block is reassuringly small,
Yeah, but it's
but
there.
non-zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Curious.
an abbreviated ST person. Huh.
Right. Let's see what number we get from the magic machine now. It is 991. One of the bonus questions.
Bonus question.
So are you just going to, are we going to go through these in order? Is that the idea?
Well, I know which one I'm going to put in first, because this is a question I definitely want settling. And I'm going to pop it in the chat and then say it. It is it finite group or the finite group? Very important question.
It is definitely that. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that answer.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I feel like we had an opinion about this initially, and we were like, it's definitely not the finite group, because, you know, that sort of sounds a bit like we're the only one, and we're not. But also we are.
Yeah.
But also,
Also say
I mean,
something like-
I want to know. Go on.
I don't like the because if I say to someone this morning I'm doing the finite group live stream, that sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of need it to not have the for that.
But do you say what do you like? Do you say like I'm going to add the Beatles gig?
Yeah.
You'd rephrase
just
it.
Listening
drop
I'm going
it.
to
see
the
the
Strokes
Beatles.
album.
Yeah.
Is there not ones called the?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just makes the whole thing worse. Well,
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe like I think officially it should be like full name the finite group. Like your full name might be, you know, Matthew Scroggs, but nobody says Matthew. Just take the away. Finite group is like the Scroggs of our name.
isn't that Matt Scruggs if you take the? It's Matt. I don't.
How about
Colin's
finite
son
group
in the
of
chat. Colin's son has pointed out that the logo says finite group. That's because Katie made the logo and was very firmly of the opinion that there was no the at that point. Anyway, do you want to pull another number?
Yeah, let's do another one. We have number 65.
Okay. 65. Oops.
Okay.
3 real numbers A, B, and C are to be ordered without loss of generality. Oh, so whether it's A is less than or equal to B is less than or equal to C, or whether it's B is less than or equal to A is less than or equal to C.
So this is one of the ones where like I don't have a strong opinion. If I saw any of those written down, I'd be like, okay, cool, that's information I'll take on board now. But if you didn't give me the greater than or less than symbols, I would assume that A was the smallest.
Yeah.
So the top option.
First one, the second one looks weird to me, but yeah.
But
I agree with
for
that.
me,
Yeah,
the second one looks weird because I don't like the greater than or equal to sign. If it said C less than to B less than to A, I'd be fine. It's just weird putting them that way around.
Yeah, I think that's it. When you talk about orderings, it's always really conventional to be like less than, less than, less than.
Yeah.
Because then you're listing things in order of size. So, yeah.
Yes. It also slightly depends if it just carries on for infinity. then I'd put A first, whatever. But
Yeah.
in this case, there's just 3 of them, so I'd make A smaller than B, smaller than C.
Yeah.
This is like an on-the-fly tangential bonus question, but when you imagine the number line,
Whoa.
do you
Sorry.
imagine it like horizontal left to right, or do you imagine it vertical up and down like temperature?
Yeah, is that not one of the questions? But yeah,
I mean, I've no
horizontal.
idea which way is left and which is right because I'm on
Horizontal.
camera that's flipped and then put to YouTube and flipped again. But horizontal defo. And
Anyway,
I
that-
don't know if I ever did it differently, but I think doing complex numbers, I got so used to real being horizontal that I cannot imagine it any other way anymore.
Yeah.
That's fair. Anyway, 95% of people thought the first one.
Good. Okay, I picked another one. We've got
Yep,
number 60
correct.
next.
60. A straw has 1 hole or 2 holes.
Everyone hold up your answer and we'll do it on 3, right? Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
This is 0. That's interesting. Explain your 0.
Also, I've spent too long thinking about asteroids and Pac-Man, and I consider it a 2D surface that's closed and there's no holes in it.
It's got ends. How is it closed? It's got 2 ends.
Yeah, but no, it's an infinite long straw.
How does the liquid get
Oh, right.
through?
Well,
with it?
An infinitely long straw, yes, has 0 holes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
it doesn't
how
say
does
that.
how does cutting it that direction add a hole?
So you go to the pub and they're like, "Can I get a straw in my drink?" And they're like, "Oh, sorry, we've only got infinitely long straws." Like,
Yeah.
oh, fine. I guess I'll set off, walk in.
Yeah, but if we consider it a 2D object, not if we consider it a 3D object, not a 2D object, it is 1 hole.
Yeah, I've been taught that by topologists, and it makes sense because there's you if you think that the hole at either end, then they meet up, and that's weird.
Yeah, but
That's
it's
not
like a
2
polo,
different
just
holes.
very stretched, isn't it? And a polo definitely has 1 hole.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's what got me on it. Yeah, it's just something, and then you pull it out. What question was that? 60.
60.
How
Yeah,
many people are wrong?
92% 1 holers. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I mean, if you
Honestly.
look closely, it's right there in the A of the straw. That's the.
Yeah.
Ew.
It's just the A. What if it's a straw? What if it's the straw? Who knows? Right,
Hey,
next number. Quick,
27.
another
Nice
number.
cube number. 27.
Ooh.
I didn't pick another one yet. Let's give it a spin.
Oh no. Suddenly got serious.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, I genuinely have not heard of the axiom of countable choice. That feels like a new thing.
No, not my area.
I do
think
remember
it might
having like.
be.
Go
It
on.
might be the axiom of choice, but only for countable things, which is
Right.
more obvious. But
I do wonder
Yeah.
how many of these things we should be trying to explain, depending on because the audience is
Yeah.
varied, right? Do you want to give
I
us a
just
quick
remember,
axiom of choice?
Well, this is maths. I remember at university at PhD having gone to a party at the house of the other maths people, and there was a big argument broke out about the axiom of choice. And I remember a quite drunk person shouting, "It's obviously false!" I was like, "What? What are you doing?" Yeah, it's to do with sets and infinity, and it's essentially if you've got infinitely many sets, each containing infinitely many things, it's possible to choose one thing from each set. I guess because like choosing a thing from a set requires whatever sort of structure and logic you need. Like it could be considered that's not something you can actually do. And there are some, I guess, results or proofs, or in fact, one of the puzzles about infinitely many people wearing hats that relies on being able to do that in order to solve the problem. And is it one of the things that's been proven undecidable? I think.
yes, yeah, it's axiom.
yeah.
Set theory with it is consistent. Set theory with it negated is consistent. So we can't decide from other axioms if it's true.
Yeah, so they've basically created 2 whole branches of maths, half of which believe in the axiom of choice and half of which don't. It's not a matter of belief, you just pick one, right? Because we'll never know. It is equivalent to Zorn's lemma, thanks for the classic axiom of choice one-liner from Colin. What's yellow and equivalent to the axiom of choice? Zorn's lemon. Which was one of the 3 jokes that our lecturer at undergrad knew. The other one was what's purple and commutes. And I'm sure there's another one. But yes, the choice is kind of it's a thing in sort of set theory and logic, but it basically doesn't matter whether it's true or not because you can use it or not use it. So I guess it doesn't matter which one of these you choose; they're all correct.
So, given that this starts fights at mathematical parties in Manchester, shall we have a look what the answer is from here? Wow, blimey.
Oh wow, 84%.
That's much higher than I thought it was going to be. Yeah. Several angry set theorists have remarked I should put down dependent choice instead of countable choice. Whoops, which is what has been asked in the
that's
chat.
also come up in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're
Cool.
nailing this. This is so good.
Right.
Right.
Another number.
45.
45.
Is it bad that I'm preemptively scrolling in the direction that there are more numbers out of the two options whenever I'm like, what's the next one going to be? Oh my
Gosh.
Yeah,
No.
good. Let's.
No.
Should we
No,
I'm
pass?
it's-
Yeah.
personally like the last option. If it's a tensor, it's a tensor. If it's being
Yeah.
a tensor, it's a tensor.
We see what the results say.
Yeah.
Oh, a whole.
No one knows.
No one knows.
I always thought of it as like just like a generalized version of a vector. Like it's a
Yeah, with a bit more information in. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's to me, it's a word we use for lots of different things in the same context because no one knows what they
Yeah.
are. But
like
Right.
a
we call everything a
multi-dimensional array,
tensor.
like you
Yeah.
go from a vector to a matrix, and then you keep going up the dimensions, and they're all tensors.
Yeah, but also people in my field use it to describe anything that's either a vector or a matrix or has more dimensions. Just like anything. It's just it's a tensor. It's like that. Just it's like saying it's an object. 993. We have another bonus question.
Right.
Bonus question, right? So here's it. Oh, this is. I mean, we may need to explain this, but the question is, when adding numbers on Countdown, is it acceptable to run the calculations together? And I imagine if Peter's able to kind of scribble something down to demonstrate this, I think you're going to try and do a.
Yeah, I just
thing.
remember that I said I would be able to do that, so I'm making that
There you
true.
go.
So
it's
this
like
is.
if they're doing. Go on.
Say some numbers.
Okay, so on what? I'm just looking
25.
around. Yeah, there we go.
So if you're doing
I
20.
can see the number 12. Go on. 25 times. I mean, this is true countdown here. 7.
7. You've now got to do 25 times 7. That's all.
It's 1 less than 25 times 8, so it's
175. Right.
175.
Yeah.
And then if the next step is like minus 20, or like so, Caravordham used to do this,
Yeah.
and it
Yes.
absolutely drove me up the wall.
Yeah.
Like, oh
Yeah.
my god.
So that's
What-
the issue,
what is
right?
it?
Is the issue is I am forever telling undergraduate students, I'm not sure how visible the red is. It's red because I've been marking, you see.
What colour is it on
that's my
countdown?
life.
Is it black or?
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't
there we
know.
go. It's even a checkered background. It's so good.
But the issue that I have here is that what goes either side of an equals sign should be equals. And this says that 25 times 7 is 155, which it is not.
Yeah.
And that's,
Yeah, it's fun to hear that you have issues with that at undergrad because as someone who spent my entire adult life teaching high school children, it is something which I have constantly it gives me so much pain, and I just kind of try and say, you're grown up now, you can start a new line. If they're not equal, just a whole new sum. You can have as many sums as you want.
That's
But
the bonus
also-
thing, yeah.
I am lazy and I definitely do it on rough work on paper.
Yeah, and that's what's being said in the
No.
chat, is it's fine as long as you don't show it to anyone.
Yeah, I'd never write it up when I write stuff up neatly, but if I'm just working out numbers for myself,
A
just
true
saves writing the
guilty
number again.
pleasure.
Yeah.
You never tell anyone about.
If I find myself in I don't know, a pinch where I have to put things on the same line, I'll use an arrow instead of an equals sign just to kind of be like, these aren't equal, but this is leading me on to this. So
Oh,
Yeah,
that
I mean, I
reminded
think-
me of the time I had some students who were definitely copying off one another, and one of them had done that and put an arrow between two things, and the other one had copied it as just equals 7, which just made the whole thing even more nonsense. Just grim.
Yes.
Not only are you definitely copying, this line doesn't even make sense. Oh, yeah.
Right, what number?
Right, got another
Next
number.
we
I
have
don't know which way to scroll now because we're about the middle.
number 4, right at the top.
Oh, cool.
Okay. I know which way I'm scrolling next time.
You know when bingo
Yeah,
callers
yes.
have words that go with the numbers?
Yeah,
You know,
yes,
I
we're not
want,
doing
I
that.
want
Oh.
some Scrogs bingo calling about the number 4 and stuff.
So manifolds and second countability. Is somebody going to explain this?
Oh.
According to Wikipedia, no. Second countability is a property that like spaces in topology can have, and it means essentially that it's got a countable base, where the base is a thing that underlies the manifold.
And do you have a strong feeling?
I guess the question is what you include in the definition of a manifold.
Okay.
And yeah, the base is essentially just like a set of open subsets that you can use to build the whole space, I guess. A bit like a base in a vector space is a basis, or that kind of thing. But yeah,
I suggest I show us the results and we'll get on with our lives.
It depends on the definition of a manifold, doesn't it? I guess.
2/3 say yes.
2/3.
1/3 says no.
Cool.
What number?
It's getting
I'll go with
late.
that.
98.
98. Very good.
Wow, that's a real shift from one end to the other. It isn't though, is it? We've still got 20 minutes. It's all good.
The function fx equals 3x plus 1 is linear or not linear?
It's just linear.
Linear?
Why would that not be
one.
linear?
Because if you plug in
just
2x, you don't get 2 times the answer.
Ah,
So y equals 3x plus 1 is linear because it's a straight
Right.
line. The function's not linear because if you double the input, you don't
Because
get
the
double the
plus
output.
1 is acting on the x.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
I really need to check the wording of several books I've written.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah, so the function is not necessarily linear, but the
The equation is.
Y equals 3x plus 1 is linear, but fx equals is not linear. That's horrible. I'd never realised that before.
No.
But as Colin Beveridge points out, it is affine, and I'm affine with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2/3 say linear, and there's a big lot of text saying this is wrong. Basically, I think. I'm not going to read.
Cool.
Right, carry on.
Yeah, we'll put the link to the results in at some point if people want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's a fine, number 9, but actually all I can say is it's a fine, 66.
Okay.
Okay, so 66.
Palindromic.
The integral of the function x plus 1 over the interval 0, 1 is... What's going on there?
Okay.
The
So
only difference is the
so-
brackets.
The number thing is wrong, but that's the typesetting, like the 0 isn't low enough and the 1 isn't
Yeah.
high enough, and they're not on top of one another. But that's not what's under consideration. That's just weird typesetting. So it's whether you need the brackets around the thing.
This is definitely one of my guilty pleasure things because I feel like the answer is I should put the brackets around it. I don't. I just don't.
I think it's clear without the brackets.
Yeah,
think,
I was going to say...
as long as you leave a space before the D, if the 1 and the D were touching, the first one is ridiculous. But as long as the space is around your thing, I think it's fine.
Because fundamentally, integral x doesn't make sense on its own, and 1dx doesn't make sense on its own. It's like the integral and the dx are implicitly brackets as well, I think.
Yeah, the integral is like the open bracket, and then the dx is like the end of the thing. So you see that and you look for that. Yeah,
And I've sometimes done brackets around the thing if it's needed it to be clear for some reason, but if it's not needed, it's not needed.
Yeah.
It's like a really big fraction or something you want to put together.
Related to this one, how would we feel if someone wrote down integral dx and then x squared afterwards? Because I had a lecturer that used to do that. It drove me crazy. I cannot follow it.
That is what it's saying here. Number physicists want to have the dx before the integral.
No, just
I
do
think
it.
they sit around it, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, 2/3 say no brackets, 1/3 say brackets.
Yeah. Colin Beveridge reckons the answer to that question is yes. So,
Yeah.
I say
also
I
don't
is acceptable.
enjoy
Yeah.
when people like put dx over x.
what we got?
Bonus question 997.
Right, cool. Okay, bonus question. This is such a good one. When is midnight on Thursday?
In what country?
Well, but is it?
So the issue is whether it's at the end of Thursday or at the end of Wednesday.
Oh.
I'd go for the end of Thursday.
Oh.
But then I also argue that midday is AM. It really makes me angry that people call it PM because it's a change when you reset to 1.
Like 12:01.
It makes
No,
me
when you go to
angry
1
when people
PM.
call it-
Oh wow.
Yeah, just write
Yeah.
12 noon.
So
It's
Yeah.
12:30
noon, yeah.
a.m.
Although
Yeah.
somebody told me you don't need 12 noon, you just need 12 or noon because it's not
Yeah.
it's not the noon is the unit for the 12, if you see what I mean. But yeah, I would
Yeah.
say it's at the end of Thursday because you're having Thursday evening becomes Thursday night and then it's midnight on Thursday. And I know that that's wrong in the sense that it's 00:00 on Friday at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it makes sense because
Yeah.
it's almost like the day changes about 4 a.m. because 4 a.m. is when I'm never awake.
Right, yeah.
But occasionally I'm up till midnight and it's still the previous day.
I'm pretty
Like,
sure
I'm
Nottingham,
never up for the next day.
Nottingham, if you buy an all-day bus pass, that's how that works as well. I think it's about 4 a.m. It resets
Yeah.
to the next day.
And
Yeah.
it's when the clocks change as well, so it is.
Right.
That's when the day
Oh,
actually
that's
ends.
2, isn't it? When the go on.
Yeah,
Anyway,
2 a.m.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll see what the Oh no, that wasn't one that we.
It was. I mean, it'd be great if
wanna
they had
know.
an answer.
To the
Really
one.
wanna know.
Yeah, it's a good time to meet someone at a fence post. That's all I
Yes.
can say.
And that's why contracts and things will often say, 11:59 or 12:01, won't they, to make that clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Go on,
Okay,
give us a number.
Man Alive, 95.
There's a comedy show that I've been to where they do a fake bingo thing, and everything that ends in 7 is just somebody in Devon. It's just a different person in Devon for each one. It's very good.
I
Right.
think are we quick firing at this point? I don't have
Yeah.
a strong opinion on.
Yeah, I have no
I don't
idea
care.
on this one.
I don't care. It's a collection of authors. It's like category theory, I guess, and it's sort of category theory. Everything's either an object or an arrow, and you can call it hom or you can call it more. But
Right.
if you've not done a lot of category theory, you may not have strong opinions. I know some category theorists who may have strong opinions about this, but it's,
Go on,
it's
Charles.
all the arrows.
Cat Stuck Up a Tree, number 3.
How are you doing this? You're getting absolute opposite ends of the thing.
Yeah.
0 to the power
Oh
0.
no! 0 to the 0.
Math error?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Is that
this is
undefined
so-
or indeterminate?
There was someone who
I think it's
I'm sure there was like a maths teacher or someone who came up with a theory of something, and they called it like nullity, or they like had a definition of the value of this, and they used it to define a bunch of maths. I think it was either this or 1/0 or something that you shouldn't be able to define. But zero, so anything to the power 0 is 1.
Yeah.
Anything to the
zero-
power 0 is 1, but 0 times anything is 0.
Yeah.
Something 0.
Which is why you got 1 and 0 on this list. And I would say as a
Yeah.
result of that, it's weird infinity stuff, right? So it's just undefined.
I'd say indeterminate. Because it's a longer word than undefined. And
What's the
As I
difference
say,
between
what's the
indeterminate and undefined?
yeah, I'd be interested to see
Well,
if there's a
I
big
don't
difference
think
because I'd 50-50 between those two if I had to vote.
I feel
Yeah,
like,
it's just-
I would say either of them, but undefined kind of feels to me like you could define it, but we haven't got there yet. But clearly you can't. Like you cannot.
Indeterminate is more
say-
unknowable, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does the survey say?
Survey says it's split. I mean, it's a bit like having too many left-wing parties in your vote or whatever. It's split it, right? So that
Yeah, it's
one has won, which is
incredibly-
obviously wrong.
Someone on there said if you're
Maybe
raising it to the power of natural 0, then it's 1. If you're raising it to the power of real 0, then it's undefined.
Oh, crikey.
What?
Good.
Some kind of limits argument. I don't know.
So
The
give us a
Sky
number.
is Blue, 82.
82. That'll be here somewhere. 82. A signed measure is real valued or can take values of plus or minus infinity on both.
Yeah, that's from a field that I don't know much
Yeah,
about.
pick another number, quick.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Ah, someone's found the nullity stuff in the chat. Yeah. Is it 1/0? Yeah, it makes dividing by 0 possible.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
993
my worry
bonus
with it.
question.
Bonus question. Right, where's the next bonus question? Okay. Is a percentage a number between 0 and 1, or a number between 0 and 100?
A number between 0 and 1.
Yeah.
And the percent
Yeah,
sign
I
acts as the
agree.
kind of units for that.
because a lot of people think of a percentage as being a number between 0 and 100 because it's like
Mm.
30% or whatever.
Yeah.
Out of
But-
100.
But that's
mean,
30 divided
I'm
by
just
100, right? The
thinking
percent is
back
doing the
to
divided by
the-
100 for you.
Yeah, I guess the question is percent a unit or is it shorthand for divided by 100? I always thought of it as a unit, so I'd say it's between 0 and 100.
But have you noticed, Scroggs, that it's got a dividing line and 2 zeros?
Yeah, in the wrong places.
Yes.
It's literally a 0 divided by 0 symbol. So that, what? I can't
Yeah.
work with that.
Yes.
I think like I'm fairly sure on the Wikipedia for percent. I'm actually going to do this. I think on the Wikipedia for percentage it shows like the progression of the percentage symbol throughout history, and it used to be a dash and 2 zeros, like the divide line and 2 zeros on, and it was just like a transcription error that it's migrated up top.
Ah, one of the zeros is headed north. Oh dear.
That's very cool. But
There's
like,
also one for divided by 1,000, which has got 2 noughts on the bottom, isn't there?
yeah, it's per meal, which is like per 1,000, and then there's also a per 10,000 in Unicode. But they use it in finance. I think it's per myriad is 100th of a percent, and they use it in finance because things like interest rates tend to go up by 100ths of a percent.
Sam shared a book about mathematical symbols in the chat, which is not the same one you were waving around earlier.
Imagine if someone had a book about mathematical symbols in a Costa in Hull.
Click on that.
Other coffee shops are available. Yeah, this is a book that I wrote a couple of years ago about scientific symbols, and I definitely included, speaking of which, I included per meal and per milliad in here as well. The best thing about this book is it's got a visual index. So at the back here, it's got like, if you want to look something up and you're like, it's a bit like an S. So page 85.
Where would I be able to get such a book?
Just in America,
One?
not in the UK. This is literally the only copy in the UK. And I know that for a fact because the other author, because it was me and someone else that wrote this, lives in Germany, so his copy is in Germany. But yeah, there I've got per meal and per milliard. Yeah.
Nice.
There we go.
As if 0 divided by 0 makes more sense if you put more zeros in it.
Another number, Scruggs. I wonder if we should ask people while we're doing this one, perhaps chuck in the chat if you've got a favourite one of these questions you'd like us to address. Because we've only got a few more minutes to this.
Interest rate 78.
78.
Nice. Good.
What rhymes with 8? Quick.
The preferred shorthand for the sequence A1, A2, A3 is AN. Oh gosh, lots of things like that.
I make it up every time I need to write it because I don't have a preferred one.
Yeah, I don't have a preferred one.
I've not seen this with the N twice. What's that? Like, is it just this?
Yeah, I'd probably just write AN.
Yeah.
Subscript N.
Like, does that not define the sequence?
Sometimes I would use like a U.
But you often have AI for I from 1 to N. You know, I in the set 1 to N, that sort of thing. This is the sort of shorthand for that, I guess, but I don't know why there are.
Yeah, why would it be N both times? I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, good. 76 is next. Oh, I mean, pick up stick 76.
Oh no. It starts with the word endow.
Oh no. Okay, let's number quick. Oh
I don't know
wow.
what pre-compact means.
1,000. We've got another bonus question.
1,000. Okay, this is. I mean, this is one that I get angry about. If it's Monday, when is next Friday? Peter knows how annoyed I get about this.
Indeterminate, I think, is the answer.
Yeah, I would ask for clarification because I don't know.
So if I say I'll see you next Friday, and people say, "Oh, do you mean the 12th or whatever?" And then I say, "No, not this Friday, but next Friday," and they're like, "Oh, okay, cool." So somehow me adding the clarification that I don't mean this Friday means that next Friday now suddenly means the Friday that's next week. Yeah. Whereas if I just say next Friday on its own, people think somehow that I mean this Friday, whereas I would have said this Friday if I meant this Friday and not next Friday. But this is... Oh, what? Friday next? That's coming.
Next Friday can't be different from Friday next. That makes
Friday
sense.
Week.
Friday week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you said... If it was a Thursday and you said next Friday, you definitely mean next week.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If it's a
Yes,
Wednesday,
that's-
when does it stop being obvious? If it's a Wednesday, and I said, so if I say today, oh, I'll see you next Friday, that's
Yeah.
not the day after tomorrow, is it?
If it's a Saturday and I say next Friday,
Yeah.
I mean the next Friday that there is, because there isn't such a thing as this Friday anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm.
You know, there are
This is- yeah.
some languages where a week is kind of 8 days. Like if you said, if it froze. So like if you said from Wednesday to Wednesday, I believe like South America, maybe Portuguese, like if you go Wednesday to Wednesday, they'd be like, oh, that's 8 days, because it's kind of like a fence post error.
Yeah.
Because in the UK, we consider the day that we are on to already be done as soon as you wake up, which I think
Which
is
is
a
weird
little
itself.
bit sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like a workout thing. Did you see there was a whole like forum conversation that happened between some people who do workouts, and they were saying, "Oh, I work out every other day." So like I work out on Monday and Wednesday and Friday and Sunday, and then the following week I work out on Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday. And they were describing it as 4 times a week because it's every other day. And someone was like,
Okay.
no, it's not 4 times a week, it's 3.5 times a week, right? Because it's every other day. And the person just absolutely couldn't get their head around the idea that it wasn't just 4 days a week. It's like 4 days a week, yeah, but next week it's 3 days.
Yeah.
And this conversation just rolled on and on and on.
One of those days is in both weeks if it's 4. Yeah.
Yeah. But they were like, no, I'm not doing 3.5 workouts, I'm doing 4 workouts.
So, Scruggs, pull a number out the drum. Anybody who wants us to answer a particular question, put the number of it in the chat.
I picked one. We have cat stuck up another tree, 83.
Good.
Well,
I don't know why I'm never asked to do bingo.
Welcome to physics.
Nope.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Throw that question on the floor. 94.
Ooh, brackets chat. I think max is a function.
Brackets, yeah.
Brackets.
Like curly, not squiggly.
Yeah, curly would be a set. I would accept max round brackets with squiggly inside them. It's the next thing of a set, but I'd never write without the brackets because I don't like that.
But there are cases where you want the largest element from a set, which the
Yeah.
second one would make sense for. I wonder what the
The bracket is 2 elements in inputs to a function.
What was that?
whereas the set
94.
is a set.
This is a 2/3, 1/3. Most people like the round brackets.
There must be a group of people that.
Races.
Wow.
Yeah.
Katie Steckles in Devon, number 7.
Number 7. Let's do this.
What's number 7?
Empty set.
The empty set.
okay.
Okay. Not phi, certainly.
Not 5.
Not phi, because that's a phi, but either
Yeah.
of the other 2.
I'd say the other 2 is fine, yeah.
Yeah, although don't try and write a book where they have to typeset that symbol, because there are like 40 Unicode symbols that look almost exactly like the empty set symbol, and they never get the right one. Whenever they put it on, you're like, I don't think that's the right one because I feel sick. Can you try another one until I'm happy?
I sort of think, I know it's a slight distinction, but the first one is like we're defining a set but not putting anything in it. And then the second one is a symbol that is the empty set. I feel like that's just, like I would happily put the second one is equal to the first one, is like defined as being the first one.
There's like an and the, like the first one I would be like, oh, there's an empty set, a set which is empty. And then the second one I'm like, oh, that's the empty set.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the empty set.
That's the other Discord you can join, but you're not allowed to join it.
So that was 7. Oh wow. 81% think the symbol, not the
The 1.8% of people who think it's
say
phi.
Use phi.
Honestly,
No, like the comment.
honestly,
Anyone who uses phi for the empty set,
outrageous.
shot on the spot. Yes.
Right, we've got 6 minutes left. What we're
Since
going
we're
to do?
there, can we do 8 and 9? Because I quite like 8 and 9.
Okay. Yeah,
I didn't realise I had a strong opinion about this, but is it m plus n or is it n plus m?
Depends on the
I'd always
context.
write the second one, but I don't know why.
Would you? I'd write the first one,
That's
alphabetical
wrong
order.
alphabetical order.
Yeah, if you just define the 2 things and you're adding them together, it's alphabetical order. But
I
if
think
you-
that is obviously alphabetical order. And then the
Problem is,
next
I think
one.
I've broken alphabetical order because if I'm looking for a symbol to use for a number, I use n. If I want another number, I use m next. And so to me, n comes before m because it's the symbol I've used first.
Yeah. It's like the
Yeah.
alphabet goes
But that's-
X, Y, Z, W,
Yeah, alpha, then alpha, beta, gamma.
But
And then
I
you
suppose,
panic a bit and like Q maybe.
and sometimes, yeah, you have to go. It's like if you go X, Y, Z, and then you realize you need a fourth one. So, I should have started at W, but I didn't. And
Yeah.
but if you're planning ahead, I would say M plus N, because then in equations I'm quite often putting things in alphabetical order, and then comes question 9, which is whether it's M divided by N or N divided by M, and it feels to me like N is bigger.
I'd go for the second one. The
Yeah.
first one looks really upsetting, and I don't know why.
You're right, because N is bigger than M.
Yeah. Yeah.
N is one of the numbers between 1 and N, right?
So this is where I remember this when this first came out, before we knew we were doing it on here. I just had a quick skim through and I looked at that and I thought, well, obviously I didn't realize I had an opinion, but obviously the first one for 8 and obviously the second one for 9, and that makes no sense because that's not consistent.
It's weird. Can we see what the world thinks? I really want to know.
Yeah, let's see.
Oh yeah. 8 and 9.
If it's me that's broken or the world that's broken.
So 3/4 of people think alphabetical order for the first one, but almost that many think same for the second one.
I'm in the minority on both. That's ridiculous. Everyone, the whole world is wrong.
I mean, we don't know exactly what the overlap is here. This could be opposite sets of people, but there's some people who said M plus M for the first one and N over M over N for the second one.
He's done a little contingency
a
table.
little table. Oh.
Yeah.
So who's in Peter's group? It's 6%.
Wow.
11.
Oh, no, sorry, 11%. Yeah.
Yeah, 11%.
19% in my group. I win.
Yes, that's right. Lovely.
Yeah, I've picked 992. We have another bonus question.
Okay.
This has got to be the last one, I guess. The bonus question is basically about percentage versus percentage increase versus percentage point increase, I guess. So if the proportion of something has increased by 2%, is it 2% bigger, or has the percentage it represents increased by 2? And this is an interesting one for me because at the event I was at a couple of weeks ago, which was a big sort of maths event with lots of kind of maths policymakers and important people there, they said they'd done a survey of civil servants and asked them, do you know the difference between a percentage increase and a percentage point increase? And a good chunk of them, like more than half, were like, yeah, no, I don't know what the difference is. And this is people who are making policy for the UK.
Yeah, I would probably never write increase by 2% because I just don't believe anyone reading it would know what I meant.
Yeah, or if you do put afterwards, it used to be this and now it's this.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Mathematicians would say the former and everyone else thinks the latter is a brilliant sentence. Yes. That's true of
That's
so
how
many
you divide
things.
the world up, mathematicians and everyone else. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Shall we?
Yeah, this is hard, but I think if
Yes, Colin. Yes. But technically correct, right?
I think it is one of those things because, like, if you say something's gone up by 2% and the thing itself was already a percentage, then it is ambiguous. So, yeah, it's like use your brackets. It's as Colin was saying earlier, it's like 6 over 2 times 1 plus 2. In fact, if you scroll down to number 100, Peter, that's a nice place to finish, I guess. The last question is very much gives you an option to come down on the neither side of that fence.
Everyone said the last one, right?
Yeah. I mean, can we check? Because I want to make sure.
I presume the last one encapsulates ask for clarification rather than just start screaming, because start swearing and screaming at each other is basically most people's response, or a lot of people's response to this question. So
what?
That wasn't an option.
What?
So there are lots of
yeah.
Ones and nines disappointing. Almost half the people.
Upsetting. Anyway, it's now 1 minute to 6, so we should probably wrap up.
Cool.
We have some future live streams are planned. So if you're watching this as someone who's just watching on YouTube or watching the recording and not a member of the Finite Group, you won't be able to access these unless you join the Finite Group. But it is a very reasonable amount of money per month. I think it's like £4 a month, or we've got higher tiers if you're excited. And genuinely, you can come into our Discord, you can join in with our conversations. There's a bunch of whole lovely people in here, and we're just having a nice time, and you get to see all of the live streams. So the next one will be on the 20th of April, which is a Saturday. It's our first weekend live stream. We thought we would do something on the weekend for people who are struggling to make the weekday ones in live, and it's going to be at 11 a.m. I guess, Scruggs.
Yeah,
until,
I think I am.
until
I'm nudging
12 a.m. Just to be clear,
Yeah.
11 a.m. till 12 a.m. So it's another one of our
A
famous
long
24-hour
time, yeah.
shows.
Yeah.
And we're
And just to
gonna
say
do-
that gets recorded and people in the group can watch the recording for
Yeah.
a while, a few
Yeah,
weeks.
so even if
something
you're
like
not there
that,
at the time, but you can join in and comment in the chat and have a conversation with us and make fun comments as everyone has been doing. So it's a kind of Saturday lunchtime thing. We're going to be talking about a bit of topology, some fun games that you can play with topology. So that should be a nice one. And then the one after that we've got planned is in May. Do you want to tell us about that one, Scrogs?
Yeah. What's that? Oh, yeah. We're doing. So it's in May. At the end of May, Katie and me and Ayliean are going to a big festival, and we've decided that one of the things we want to take along to it is a photo booth. That if you go to the photo booth, you can take your picture. It will then print you out a template to make a kaleidocycle, which
Whichever
looks
direction
exactly
Ayliean is
like
relative to me, I'm
that.
pointing.
There we go.
It's one of those.
Just
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And you can flex that and it shows you different pictures. So we are going to talk about this. So this is the thing we realized when we last had a meeting of the four of us, that all four of us have the same book about these things. And we also realized that various other things. And so we're going to have a go at programming something that puts the photos onto the face of these ready to take it to EMF to make into a photo booth.
This is the best one. This is my absolute favorite one. Check this one out.
Oh, yeah.
So good. It's like a
different
Sapinski triangle that
creations.
gets more so. Yeah, there's the book. Peter's got the book, except in a different language. I don't know why. What
the
language
thing
is yours in?
I think, do we decide German? I don't know why. But it's this.
Yeah.
It's this. I think my mum appeared with it from a charity shop or something. But it's just lots of things you can cut out and
Templates.
make.
I've made
I
that
don't know
one.
if like me, Peter, and Scruggs just have the vibe of someone who would like a book of MC Escher Kaleidocycles. Just the vibe we give off. But we all somehow ended up with a copy of this book.
Yeah, I got sent one, then bought myself a second copy to cut up because I didn't want to cut up my first copy.
Excellent. Well, yeah, so that will be on the 17th of May, and it's going to be an evening one, 6 till 7 GMT. No, BST by then, because it will be after the end of this month, which is in like 3 days. And that will be Scrogs and Ayliean, and I will be sat in the background probably making some MC Escher Kaleidocycles. Because it will be a good excuse to get that book out. So please join us for those if you can. And for everyone who's on YouTube, we hope you've had a lovely time. And please join us in the Discord if you can. Head to finitegroup.co.uk if you would like to do that. So,
Bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye.